But yeah, I've been reading more on them. Yeah, I guess I'm somewhere between physical touch and words of affirmation. Seem like. I mean, I mean, is it possible to have? Is it possible to have some qualities of each of them out of all of them? Do you have to stick with just one?
Like I said, ooh, all right, go. The only thing is like, um, when it comes to stuff like that, I just read it. The dude said it's possible, but you need to. I guess you need to get more into it. Some things we always doing. We always trying to add something to something. I don't know.
Right,
I
right,
just
right.
like from what I read. Like I said, um, it's it's like subconsciously you don't think about it and you just enjoy it.
Right,
But
right,
when you start
right,
reading
right.
stuff and you start putting thought into it, now you thinking what's your love language. When at first something happened, and that's how it got explained to me. Like I said, it's just everybody, everybody take their own ways and shit. I don't know.
Okay. Like I mean, and like I said, like I wasn't. I just had to go back and look at them again and read them. And thank you, Rita, for posting them. Because Rita posted all of them. But I just had to go back and read them again just to make sure I was understanding exactly what you know what I mean. I was watching and what I was reading. All right.
What's up, Larry?
So y'all know how it go. If you want to comment, you can absolutely comment. Um, and if we don't see your name, if it pop up as Facebook user, I'll let you know. So sometimes when y'all see me looking back and forth on the screen, you know what I mean? It ain't I'm paying attention to something else. I'm just looking at the phone to see who made a comment that pop up as Facebook user. But always you can jump out of the live, click on the blue link at the top of the live, give StreamYard permission to use your name, or if you're on YouTube, we on YouTube. You know what I mean? Moving up a little bit, so we streaming live on YouTube at the same time. We talking about a little bit of everything, Larry. You know, last week the conversation was fire. We got into Regina Jones. How you doing? We got into talking about alpha male being an alpha male, and I sent Sharon a link, so I'm hoping he jump in. But yeah, we were talking about a couple things. Talking about a couple things.
What's up, Kendall, Gina?
What's going on? What you want to talk about, Larry? Shit. You gotta hurry up and think about it though, because you know it's gonna take a minute to get out of that snow globe. You know it's gonna take a minute to get out of there. Oh, wait a minute. We were stuck in the snow globe. We were stuck in Larry cranium the other day, last Monday. Woo! You know what I mean? We were stuck in it. How did you make all that snow fly around like that? Did you do like that to shake your head? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me start rocking like him. RJ, what up? That's what I got right there. Hey, no, hey, look, I was just telling Mike, yo, like if y'all ever get a chance and you go on YouTube, it's this joint called Cartnarks. Cartnarcs. And it's these bammers that go around to different shopping centers and shit and fuck with people who don't put their carts back after they use them. Hilarious. What's good, Axel? Axel Foley.
What up, B?
What up, though? But yeah, um, man, Sidney Poitier, rest in peace to Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow, you know what I mean? Betty White lost her too. But nah, oh, I know somebody did post something in the group page. And hold on, I'm gonna post it up here. Hold on. Y'all should be able to see it. We're gonna rock it. Oh, we should be able to rock it like this. So hold on. It was a questionnaire. It was about things that you will or won't put up with. I was trying to make it uh
This, what is it? Things you won't put up with.
yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna go in and read them. Oh shit. I'm gonna go in and read them because people can't. I thought I could pull them up. The joint say, "What are your deal breakers? Your top 3 deal breakers, as far as I guess relationships, dating, or whatever." Number one, I'm gonna list them while we talking about them. I'm gonna go on here and comment, and I'm gonna post them and list them, so y'all should be able to see them.
One is poor hygiene.
Uh-huh. All right, number one, yeah, one. Oh shit. One is poor hygiene.
2, smoking cigarettes. Put that shit up like 4 times.
Huh?
Just read that shit. We paused.
You pause.
Yeah, I mean, we just not talking about shit.
Smoking cigarettes. What was number 3? Hold on, let me pull it up. All right. Want sex immediately. Number 4 has multiple baby mothers, baby fathers. 5 never wants to be married. Number 6 celibate until marriage. Number 7 has a criminal past.
Who put this shit up?
I think Ashley posted it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ashley Johnson. Yeah. Number 8 don't do oral sex. Number 9 wants an open relationship, and number 10 don't like going on dates. So y'all can comment through.
I don't get the has criminal past. Everybody can change.
Yeah.
Unless they didn't change.
Motherfucker, I can see a motherfucker that just keep constantly going to jail though.
Right, I get that part.
They in jail longer than they out.
But I just say criminal past.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's.
I mean, that's her
really
preference, but I'm just saying, motherfucker been in jail can come home and change and do a lot good for themselves. I mean, JD, I know JD came home from jail and been doing good since Rocky. I know a whole bunch of people that came home and got their act together. But I know what you're saying. When you go to jail, you keep going back and forth. That's kind of crazy.
Right. Or shit. Or they don't tell you about their criminal past.
Yeah.
Like a person, if they don't tell you, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people might find that like, why you couldn't tell me. So it depends, honestly.
Yeah.
Like on what your like I said, it go back to what your preference is. I'm gonna take that off because you can't even really see that joint for real, for real.
Me too.
Somebody said they're a smooth criminal.
That's Gina Jones.
One just said 1 and 6. That's how you do that. And one was yeah, bad hygiene. And number 6 was celibate until marriage. Hey,
I don't know about the man.
some people find, find their path, and they be like, man, look, I ain't gonna have sex till I get married.
There's no way I would do that.
You wouldn't?
Nah.
If it was somebody you knew you wanted to spend the rest of your life with, and she was like, look, I want, you know what I mean? But this just my one. I
Nah.
can't do that until.
I wouldn't be with her.
Respect.
I don't like all that shit. I don't like that shit. Nah. There's no way I'll wait. I don't got time for all that. If you
She said, "Get married."
that's what I say. I'm not saying that you got to jump straight into sex, but I'm not gonna wait for you.
All the way until you get married. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
to each his own, like I said. But I've been saying it, and I'm gonna say it forever. There's no way I would do that. I wouldn't even put myself through all that, and then get with you the sex trash. Next thing you know, we breaking up, getting the divorce.
Or you get with them and find out they don't do oral sex. Well, I don't believe it. Oh, you don't.
Or it could be like you just not enjoying the way you just don't. You could be just not enjoying the way that they touch you, the way they make you feel when you're having sex, and even also leading up to sex. There's a lot to it.
I could assume it'd probably be awkward once you finally get to it.
And then you find out
after all that time.
Yeah. I mean, for some people it worked. Like I said, it worked for him, but I'm not doing that with you. I'll be like, all right, then. I'm serious.
You changed, Joe. You was different at first.
I just don't like. I don't like all that nonsense.
You was different at first. No, like I agree though. Like I don't think I could. I don't know that I could have done that.
Anybody want to come on and talk? Just hashtag let me talk and come join the screen with her. I mean, I get the hygiene thing. Like, I don't know how you can even
washing your ass, right?
I don't know how you can even get that far with somebody.
Fucking Larry Dub. He says things like to be touched up.
Damn right.
But yeah, like that would have me all like you can't. That's you. Like you don't smell you.
Right.
But I don't even think that.
I don't know how you get that far.
Right. That's what I was
them your boyfriend or girlfriend with hygiene, because hygiene. I mean, every now and then somebody can have a bad, they can have a bad day. It just should be rotten. Armpits, any damn thing. You could left out the house by mistake, no deodorant. But if somebody got bad hygiene because it's a consistent thing. It ain't just something that happened one day.
Right. That's crazy. Because you know to wash your ass.
Exactly.
Well, you should know. Anyway, you should know to wash your ass.
So what's your main 3 deal breakers?
Mine probably would have been the bad hygiene, whole bunch of baby daddies, and I don't know. All the rest of them like is shit that can no oral sex. Yeah, them 3. It would have been them 3.
I don't really care too much about the oral sex thing.
Hey, look, man. I agree. I understand that. A lot of people say that though, but I don't know. Like,
Mine,
them,
I definitely don't fuck with that hygiene. Um, I know one of my top five. I'm gonna say three. The hygiene, whole acting, just totally being out of control with demands and acting selfish. I'm always, I'm gonna be stuck on that whole independent thing. I'm trying not bring it up,
oh shit.
but I'm gonna
Yeah,
always be
that
stuck on that.
was hot
I'm
though.
serious. That is a total deal breaker for me. And I don't think I can mess with nobody that wear a whole bunch of makeup. I don't like all that makeup shit. It's like everybody face look white. They look Caucasian to me. There's nothing wrong with Caucasian women, but what I'm saying is I think black is beautiful, and I just think that
You don't have to wear. You shouldn't. You don't have to wear a lot of makeup sometimes.
that's the
I get it.
norm now,
I
bro.
get it. You don't have to wear a lot sometimes.
That's
You know
the
what I mean?
norm now. It's like their face be so made up. They literally look like white people.
Yeah, I done seen that.
And
Neck
they look
black as
like
Whoopi Go.
they
Neck
got
black as Whoopi
a black
Goldberg.
turtleneck on. Look like they got. They need to take that shit. They need to take that shit to the shoulders, yo.
They got
Like
Whoopi
real talk,
Goldberg neck.
man.
They got Whoopi Goldberg neck. It's like, why is your neck got extra
Whoopi
shadows on
Goldberg
it?
in your face, Michael Jackson.
You know what I mean?
Let me go. Hey, sit down. Let me get the Michael Jackson face with the Whoopi Goldberg neck. That's what it is, man.
Right, right. That was it. It's a black
The
hair
black
dye.
hair dye.
I ain't never. Yeah, no, hell no. You'll never
I don't
catch
like
me.
that.
You'll never catch me. I earned every gray hair I got. I'm rocking with my shit.
I can even deal with like I can even deal with a female that ain't got much bread, long as she got hustle, long as she willing to grind and support you. You know, we work together. I could do the 80-20 as long as she trying and grinding, you feel me? I could do all that, but
Right, right,
it's
right.
just certain things I can't like. I swear that makeup thing and that independence thing gets under my skin.
So that makeup. He's in that judge's face as bright as well.
I don't know what that's about, yo. And then they be getting so many compliments. They be complimenting each other like, girl, you look amazing. Like, who? You look like a, a mannequin out Marshalls. Mannequin, like mannequins in the face out Marshalls, yo.
But it's it some I think more or less I think it's more or less about not knowing what to use
No, they
because
like that shit. They know what they doing.
some women use makeup and it don't look like that. You know what I mean?
The ones that doing it, they know what they're doing because all of them look the same. Their face look like they look like LeVon said it a couple weeks ago. They look like twins.
Eh.
It's like the light shit all around. Like the face look like you said, like
And see, that's
open
what I said.
casket shot.
I think it is more or less about what they're using as opposed to that's the only thing that can make sense for me. Like I'm why would you use like makeup that's lighter than your complexion anyway?
That's the new thing, man. You see on TV shows, it's
Yeah,
barely.
yeah.
If you watch them TV shows, dark skinned women face be bright as shit. It's like, damn, you don't like how you look. Like I love dark skinned women, but that shit look crazy to see your neck fucking back. your face that white. Oh, that shit look so ill.
Yeah, it do be looking weird as shit for real.
Like I say,
I
when you ever look, if they ever put up pictures, they put up pictures. Everybody be complimenting. Females be complimenting on how good other females look with all that makeup on, and I be sitting there looking like, like I said, it's just me. I'm nobody. I'm looking at them like that shit look a mess. You don't even look black. I'm sorry, yo. Like you don't even look black, bro. They look, and then when
yeah.
imagine when they take that shit off.
Yeah.
I like, now you black. I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't see people.
It's
I
one
done
of them
got
things.
inboxes from females like, "Oh, I know you seen me. I just was staring you right in your face. You act like you can't speak." First of all, we got these masks on. And second off, you got so much makeup on, you look like another human being. I don't know you when you like, I know this you. I don't know. Like I said, I get to each his own, do you? But I just think to me, like makeup is too bright. It looks like you just don't want to be black to me.
I can see why that would be a. I can see why that would be a thought that could go through your mind, like like because it's a lot. But I mean, that's something we've been seeing for years.
Nah, I ain't never seen it this bad.
Oh, you mean just like the recent makeup trend is
Yeah,
just.
at first I remember the eyeshadow, the lipstick, little, but now when you totally can see, like you got a tan down here in your face, like you had your face covered up with a towel while you was getting a tan.
Mm.
That
What's
shit
going
look
on, Meek?
what's up,
Good
Meek?
evening.
That shit look a mess. And like I say, they know what they're doing because when you watch it on Facebook, they all give each other compliments. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know when that became a trend. Like no one looks black anymore. Everyone looks like white, like white people. I'm sorry. It just pull this shit up and look. They look like white people. All of this shit underneath their eyes be bright, like a bright color.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
You know
I
what I'm
get
saying? All that shit be like
it.
white.
That's
That
the
shit ain't
style
attractive.
now, I guess.
That shit is not attractive, bro.
The style now, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, I be saying of like how some of the makeup jobs be, and it'd be like it'll be two different people.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, that's like it's crazy that women will go through all of that though. Like for real, they was talking about that at work today. A couple of the ladies at work talking about getting their hair braided and like how I feel when they get done real tight. You know what I mean? When the braids get real tight and the shit be stinging or bothering them or whatever. And I was like, but you sit there and get through that shit though, right? And they be like, yeah. All of them was like, yeah, pretty much. I said, well, damn. Like if it hurt that bad,
I remember that shit when I used to get my hair braided. But the
yeah,
only
right.
thing, it used to, after that day, it felt good and it made your hair grow.
Well, no,
I get that shit, but
Ford and Monica used to braid my hair. I never had that problem. Even when they did small braids or cornrows, yo. And that was, like I said, that was Ford and Monica. Monica used to do my hair down at DDP. I ain't never had no problems with that, with the braids being too tight.
you see what David crazy?
Yo, it's terrible.
Yo, you wild as shit.
Nah, I know when my wife put on makeup, she put it on her whole face.
When
Regardless,
we was on this
regardless.
page talking, and they was talking about one lady made a good point, like they was talking about at weddings and shit, how people weddings, females and shit wear makeup heavy, I guess because of pictures and all that shit. But
Right.
honestly, I would ask my wife, I would be like, babe, please don't do that. Like,
she getting married, she gonna wear some kind of makeup.
I mean, wear some makeup, but don't have your face look like you had a towel on your face when you was in the tanning machine.
Don't make yourself casket sharp.
Yeah, that shit look crazy to me. That shit, I don't see how they think that's attractive. It's like, you do not look like a black woman. I mean, I know they think they look pretty, but to me, that shit ain't attractive. I mean, like I say, who am I? I ain't that attractive myself. But I ain't gonna be slapping a whole bunch of makeup on. I don't know. That shit just look weird to me, man. You be in the clubs and shit, looking at people. I swear they look like they look like they just woke up out the casket, and they be sweating, and the sweat don't come out because it's caked underneath all that shit, and then you can just see like old paint on a house.
And before, because you know, women will hear this and they be like, oh, they talk. We nice. If you like wearing makeup, we wear your makeup.
Now I don't care what you think. I'm saying what I feel like saying. Like, I don't hate that shit. I don't care what they say. Like, motherfucker can talk about how peasy my head is and shit. I got scars all on my forehead. You know what I mean? When I had my beard be peasy as a bitch. I don't care. But I don't care what they think about me saying. I do not like how they look with that damn makeup on. It does not. It is totally not attractive. They look, and then like I said, they love it. It's not attractive. And I don't care how pretty they are. I'll be looking at like famous people on TV, and like, all right, you could take old girl, what's her name? One of my favorite actors. How the fuck did I just lose her name? Gabrielle Union. Man, sometimes, you know, you go back and you look at old movies that they played in, and you like, damn, when we were young, shorty, sexy, all that. Oh, man, you see them on a movie now, like it look like she look like a white lady.
They older now, man.
I get it.
You know what I mean? And then wearing makeup all that time and it break your skin down anyway. So eventually you have to wear makeup all the time. Because you've been wearing it all the time. But somebody said Lil' Kim. But that had a lot to do with her getting a lot of that plastic surgery too. Like that played a part of that too.
She was fine though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She was beautiful.
I seen a little unsung on her, right? And she was talking about how she was messing with a dude and dude was beating her ass, calling her all types of bad names and everything. And she been through that shit her whole life, even when she was young. Mm-hmm. But she was fine. Pretty, nice body.
Yeah. Like
she didn't even have that type of that gangster personality at first. She got that shit out. She kept old boy was whipping up on her ass.
But now she has said that she had got her nose done, and the dude broke her nose like a day after she got it done, so she had to go get it done again. I was like, wow, yo, like she went through a lot, man. She went through a lot.
Hey yo, they crazy. Yo.
I saw the joint. He was with the chicken and woke up. Her eyebrows was gone after she came out the band from.
That shit crazy, yo. Like, be taking off that makeup and got a whole nother person laying next to him.
And the crazy part about it is a lot of times you're right though. A lot of times they be pretty still. They just look different. Everything look, you know what I mean?
I'm sure I had several females say to me,
"It's wild.
I know you saw me." I'm like, "Saw you? Where was you at? You saw me as such and such. You." I say, "Man, sent me a picture." I'm like, I said it just like that. I said, I can't tell that's you. You all that fuck makeup on. I remember you from school. But now you know, I remember you from school.
You all that fuck makeup shit on.
Why you look like a white woman? I ain't know. I thought you were Caucasian.
This guy here. This is something. This was very, very, very important.
They getting the little noses and shit. All of them getting the same exact nose. Like them nose, the nose they get like they got a special somewhere over in China.
Right,
Everybody
right.
getting the little noses and cheekbones and shit done. You was already pretty, but I mean, like I said, to each his own. But I'm just speaking on it. I don't like that shit.
Like, I just, and I always say, I feel like, look, man, you want to do some work on your body or on your face or whatever.
It's even look. We were just talking about this other shit, right? Right. They got the Michael
Michael
Jackson news.
Jackson,
They had a deal on that shit somewhere. Dudes, man, bruh. Dudes using makeup now. They painting their fingernails and shit. But
I
they
did
say
see
they
that.
straight. No, listen,
I
these dudes say they
did see
straight.
that.
And they
Yeah.
paint their fingernails and toes. And I seen dudes at the go-go at Nipsey's. You can see the makeup running off his face. Like I said, ass, these niggas wearing makeup.
It wasn't head
Wow.
down. It wasn't Beijing.
Looking pretty.
Niggas be getting in Beijing.
I'm telling you, yo, the hairline was so perfect, but you could actually see his face, because we was partying. You could see the sweat coming off from making the makeup drip off, and you could see how it was a total different color here. And we went outside, and I'm looking, and I was like, ass. This chick next to me, like, dudes wearing makeup now. I said, you see that he got eyeliner on too, and they
Who's this, yo?
yeah.
So I'll be pissed and wake
That's
up and
Ashley.
that dude got his wig laying next to mine. God,
Yeah, that shit.
yeah.
Man, that shit. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
this is a new generation, yo. This a whole new generation. Don't nobody want to be handsome and charming. Everybody want to be pretty.
Bro,
Like, man was walking around wanting to be pretty.
when you see me with the Steve Harvey cut, then you know my shit went bald. I'm gonna have a fade. I'm gonna have a high top joint too. I might get the Bobby Brown gumpy for my shit. And my shit start going bald. Fuck it. But yeah, dudes be having whole like sew-ins and glue. Shit be glued in their head. Like niggas is gluing beards on now.
Gluing beards on. I saw that. Gluing the like they be having peasy hair so they get the waves.
Right.
Hey yo. Yo. Nah, bro.
Man,
I'm glad I was born in the motherfucking 70s, bro.
Yeah, I was born
Ain't
with
no
common
way.
sense. I ain't doing all that.
Ain't no way.
My shit
It
go
was bad
bald.
enough we had rock the Jerry curls and shit. These Bama's want a whole nother head.
He said they asked him was his hair real. Hey, look, man. This is how they doing. I guess they figured the women can't be the only ones getting. Somebody said I see studs on TikTok getting look. Yeah, I saw that too.
Hey,
It
that
was
shit
a chick.
crazy.
It was this female, a stud, and she was getting a beard put on. Yo, I was like,
And the dudes with the wigs, with
I'm ready to
the
start
full
doing that shit.
facial hair, with the long wigs, with the full facial hair.
Right.
That shit be make me ready to throw up, yo.
Yo, I'm ready to start doing. I'm ready to start doing lace beards. You want a lace front beard? Come holler at your boy. I got you.
For some motherfucking
I'm gonna use an Elmer's glue stick.
and some Baltimore rat hair. Some of them Baltimore rats. It's getting them wars.
100% possum hair. You gonna look like a brand new nigga. Come holler at me, Allen. I'm wearing one of the units now as we speak. I'm not only wondering.
Crazy, yo.
As you
I'm
see,
scared of society.
Mikey has on our winter possum 86 chin.
Oh Christ, look at Adrian. That's what I mean. hey, Adrian,
Hey
now you
yo,
want to put it on the screen.
hey, yo,
That nigga crazy. Had a jerry curl at boot camp.
yo, you would have yo that. Oh my
You
God, I
see what I
can't
mean?
unsee that shit now.
That's when you think you know who your friends are.
Hey yo, hey yo. I hope it ain't no pictures floating around, cause you my man's. But if it's a picture floating around,
Well, no, I had a jerry curl back today. I had the S curl.
anybody that got a picture of Mikey with the Jerry
I'm gonna
curl with the
find it.
S,
I'm gonna
send
find it
me
and put
the
it on my
picture.
page.
Send me the picture before he puts it up. Send
Uh-uh.
me the picture first.
I was in sixth grade. Look, my sixth grade graduation. I had the motherfucking jerry curl with the big hat cocked to the side when I graduated from sixth grade. Yeah.
Was this shit like that though? You could do
Nah,
that
it
shit?
wasn't that type. It wasn't the
Oh, you
soul
ain't had
glow. It wasn't the soul glow.
you ain't had a soul glow?
Nah, she wasn't that greased up. My shit. You know, my
Oh,
head peasy as a bitch, so some of that shit ain't take right.
yo. Nah, I had an S curl too though when I lived out in California. I
Yeah, my
posted the
shit
picture of
was
me when I had the S curl. It's me and my brothers and my pops.
my
We was
shit
in
ain't take
Hollywood
right
on
though.
Christmas. Yeah, I posted mine. I had an S curl. Shit, at one point I had a perm, nigga. Fuck, I ain't scared. My shit was straightened.
No, I had
I got my shit. My shit, and this was some years ago, nigga. I'll post that picture. I had a perm. Nigga. My shit was like
I
Barry White.
can't even see on the screen.
What?
My screen went away. Can you see me?
Yeah,
Something happened. My screen jumped off Facebook.
it jumped on face. Just hit the tab at the top. Did you try to send somebody the link?
I ain't do nothing. I was just sitting here talking.
I don't know. Uh-huh. You still can't see the screen?
Hey, hold up. I did 90% of the people on here have face had ass curl.
Yeah, that's what I said. I had one. I ain't ashamed.
Right.
I was in Cali though, so it was only right. It was
That
only
shit
right that I
did.
had the S curl with the fade. I had the fade.
Yeah, I came back later and had the sides cut down with the top.
Yeah, I had that.
Nah,
I had,
Larry, I ain't do the barge brother joint. My shit look like who on TV? My shit look like my shit look
see,
like Jermaine Jackson.
oh, 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 yeah, I gotta see this.
I
I
wasn't
gotta
that.
see this. Oh man, stop, yo! Don't say that, yo.
What the fuck?
You mean Jermaine Jackson now or the?
Nah, back in the day, he had the whole head.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I
I
had the
had a
high
high
top
top.
fade when I lived in California. I had the high top fade with the question mark in it, like Kwame. Remember
No, I ain't
Kwame
do
had
that.
the joint with the question mark. I had that when I was in Cali though. And then out there, like all of that shit was wild though, cause like everybody was dressing wild out that bitch, yo. Like niggas was walking around with pants like size 58 and 60, and they would have them bitches like bunched all like it was crazy out there. But that was the more or less like the dances and shit. Oh, somebody said you played Michael Jackson in the Thriller, in the Germantown production of Thriller.
That nigga lying like he lying.
Hey yo,
Yo,
did he say he lying, yo?
yeah.
Hey yo, why you on here twice?
Huh? Can you hear me? I got a fucking echo now.
Hold on.
Yo,
Hold on.
you hear me? My shit
All
keep
right,
cutting
but
out.
There you go. You good now?
I can't see the screen.
All right. So jump out real quick. I'm gonna take you off and jump back in. Use the link and jump back in again. While we waiting for him to. Oh, word. You say we had peasy head jokes. Everybody had them peasy head jokes, you know what I mean. Remember that back in the day, like that was just part of growing up, getting joned on about your head. You know what I mean? But now, like these youngins walking around now, like even my son, these goddamn heads are crazy as hell now. Just be shaped up with the temp, all this shit crazy as hell looking. I said, man, I don't know. Let's just say he played Michael Jackson in our production of Thriller. Yeah, that's cold as a motherfucker. But yeah, man, that was one of them hairstyles. Like people really can't make fun of nobody for having. You know what I mean? Because everybody had one. Damn near everybody had one. You
All
good?
right, I'm back. Yeah.
What happened, B?
Yeah, Jay, that's all we used to do is crack jokes. That was our shit.
Yeah,
Um,
that was wild.
what was the other topic you was talking about?
What the Alpha Male joint we was talking about last week?
Man, damn that alpha male shit. That shit got out of hand. Uh, that shit got out of hand. One thing we do is a lot of is changing definitions of words so we can make points.
Right,
If
right.
you if the definition is already in the goddamn dictionary, you can't change the definition of the word to prove a point. And that's why a lot of it was going back and forth. It was like, I interpreted something one way, you interpreted something one way, but it's written the way that it is.
Right. That's one of them subjects you can agree to disagree on, plain
What's
and
up,
simple.
Ty?
That's what you're gonna have to do. You know what
Even
I
when I
mean?
looked at the videos that was sent to me, it was basically still saying the same thing.
Right, right.
And I get what you're saying and everything, but it was totally not accurate at all. Just me. I don't know. I see
But
I see things that I see things different from people because one of the things I do is like I listen to a lot of information, and I'm not saying that I'm right about anything. All I do is express my opinion. Um, even even after that, we talked about that stuff. I got inboxes people saying that I was saying that he's wrong. I never said that he was wrong about anything. I said I would never agree with that. I don't agree with that.
right, right.
Even if the definition was written different from what I was saying, and it was about what the way he was saying it, I still wouldn't agree with it. But I'm not saying that it's wrong. That's just me. I don't agree with that.
Oh, understood. Understood.
But did you
But
see the video that I sent you?
yeah,
What did it say? He takes care of everything around him.
yeah, it absolutely do.
And they never the whole time in those videos, they never mention animals.
I just feel like for real, like honestly, it's like you said, everybody gonna come up with their own definition on how to
Interpretation.
define it or how to make it fit what they want it to fit. You know what I mean? But no, the other thing we was talking about, 'cause I was saying I had to go back and read up on love languages, and I was saying I had asked originally when we first started was like the way that they broken down and just reading them and learning about them. Like I could say I do some of all of this.
Right. it's like I said to you. It's like what I said to you at first, right? When you read those, like when we first start talking about love languages, and people really didn't if you don't really understand what your love language is, but then you go and you start reading and understanding what love language is in, then you try to figure out your love language. But what this is, like I said, what I got from it.
Right, 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 right.
When I started listening to the love languages and started thing, it said to me, it was like, once you start trying to figure out your love language, you start thinking, well, I like I like being touched. I also like when people buy me things. All that is natural, but they talking about when somebody does something for you that you don't think about it and you have a reaction to it. That's when you know it's a true love language. It's not the ones that you sit back and you think about. Yeah, I like, I do like when somebody give me gifts. I like when people tell me I look good or something I got on nice. That's natural. All of that shit is true, but the part that's not really given to you when it comes to love languages, your reaction to it without having a thought about it, without thinking about it. That's when you know it's a real true love language. And you
Okay,
might
okay,
have more than one, but from what they were saying is it's all it's like a unconscious reaction to it. I
okay,
know for a
okay.
fact that my
I
love
get it.
language is touch
I get it.
because of the way I react when I don't get touched.
I get it. I get it. And actually, that makes sense now.
And you don't think about all this stuff because who don't want somebody to say, "Yeah, Mikey, you look good." You don't gotta tell me that because shit. When I put on something and I look in the mirror, I'm like, "Shit, I look nice in this."
Right, right. I'm
You
like,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Who
I'm a,
don't want that?
I'm a
But
rather dapper gentleman here.
you feel me?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But
But
yeah,
like I
like I
said,
was,
everybody agree on certain things, and like some people will sit around and try to debate with what the people said. I don't know. I can't tell you that you don't have two love languages. All I'm telling you is what this stuff say and why it
yeah,
gives you that reason.
right, right,
Because
right.
all the other things, all of them are something that you would like anyway. Like, you would like being touched. Um, you would like the words of affirmation, um, getting gifts, quality time. Um, Lavonda, she made a real good point about quality time, and like she was saying, it's the quality and the time that you spend with the person,
Right, right,
what you
right,
do.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's what made it more of a love language for her because spending quality time with people, you could be spending quality time with people, and they could be the ones that's totally enjoying it because it's
right,
their
right.
love language.
Right, right. And see now, so now that would be my thing now, trying to figure out.
Larry gay, yo.
Very terrible, yo.
That's gay.
Affirmation. So affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts.
See, like she was saying, she liked the quality time, and then she gave reasons for why she liked it.
Right, right,
Um,
right, right, right.
because, like I said, you could be spending quality time like with the person and not really enjoying it as much as the other person is. You could just like we chilling, watching a movie, eating popcorn, out to dinner, but in your mind, you could be thinking totally about something totally different. You could be thinking about how they touch you. You feel me? Or was hoping when they walked in the room, they said, "Damn, you look nice in that dress," or "You look nice with your hair done like that," or your makeup look nice or something. You feel me?
Because I like, I mean, because I know I give words of affirmation. You know what I mean? Um, physical touch,
Does
acts of
anybody want to
service,
come on and join?
quality time. I mean, I don't know, but like I said, I'm reading more on it now. Like I said, more or less now it's just about applying it and see which one really is the most influential one as far as what I think about it. But
See, that's the thing. You thinking about it now.
hmm yep, I like
See,
that.
that's what I'm saying. It's just it's a unconscious reaction or unthought of reaction.
hmm Yeah, so that's dope though. And I mean, ultimately, you getting into an area where
It's deeper
this
than thought, yo. It's
this
deeper
is
than
starting to
thought.
become more important because, like, the past couple years, damn near year and a half, we've been in the house because of COVID, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So I guess that's when you would really, really figure out which one yours is, or you start to, even if you didn't haven't figured it out, you kind of start learning it. You know what I mean, and learning your partners. But look, man, I just be like, look, I love you, you love me. Shit, that's the language. We in love out this bitch. That's the language. I'm in love. Is that a language?
If we had to say, check this out. If somebody had ran a test on this on you and didn't tell you nothing about love languages, it would be easier for you to find out how because you would react to it. Like if just saying you married, so if Cam walked in and tried all five of those love languages on you without
Mm-hmm.
you knowing that she was trying them,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you could actually figure the shit out because you're not thinking about it. If you didn't know about it, see, if I walk in there and I say, well, I'm gonna see how you react to me walking up to you every day and saying, see, you look good, you got a nice haircut, something like that, without you knowing and you have a reaction to it. Some people need that shit because some people have low self-esteem. They don't feel like they as beautiful as they, like I know some people that are beautiful and swear to God they don't look
They
good.
ugly as shit. Yep, real shit. I agree, and that's crazy because a lot of times it be motherfuckers, it be supermodels and shit,
Oh,
and they be like they feel like they
shit.
ugly. I'd be like, it's like, but a lot of people say that that's how they affected though. You know what I mean? Like they say people that's heavy on acts of service. A lot of times they don't do a lot of shit for themselves.
Yeah, see,
You know what I mean? Like, or people that do words of affirmation, they believe the opposite about themselves. They don't think that they deserve those type of compliments, and you know what I mean. So it's crazy. Like when you really go in and read it and like just learn about it, and listen to people talk about it. That's wild. And they were saying like it's just as important to learn where your shortcomings are when it comes to those things too. Like I said, as far as with the acts of service, like dude was like, a lot of times people that's real heavy on acts of service for if that's their love language, then like their house might be in clutter, like or their car might be in clutter, or they just feel unorganized all the time, or they feel like they forget to do shit and they miss shit. I'm like, ass, that's crazy. But when you, like I said, when you really really sit down and read it, she said go to the dollar store and pick out 5 things that express your love for each other and then show each other from a dollar store.
I know receiving gifts is not is definitely not one for me because I don't value materialistic things. I mean material things. Like I say, I like expensive watches, but
Right,
shit,
right,
I got a $500 watch just laying around here. You know what I mean? I only buy them bitches when I get my Christmas bonuses. I spent my
right.
whole Christmas bonus. I spent my whole Christmas bonus. Well, when I bought the watch, I just said, let me get $500. I bought a $500 watch. But when I take it off, I just set it on the table. My cousin, he take his watches off and put them back in the case, put them joints back on his shelf. See, when it comes to receiving gifts, I like it, and
Right, right,
because I
right, right.
always do stuff for people, but that's not my love language because I could be like, okay, you buy me a gift, thank you. If you give me a compliment, I'm the same way with a compliment. I appreciate the
Facts,
compliment, but I can
facts.
tell you that that's not my love language. I know what my love language is. Not because I learned about it. It's because it's I walk around thinking about, you know, why you ain't touching me. You feel me? Um, why I gotta touch you before you touch me. All that stuff crossed my mind all the time. I'm always in my head. And I can tell I know what mine is.
Right, 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 right. Yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna keep reading up on it more. Like it was, you know, it's very interesting once you really,
It
really
is. And
sit
just do
down and
this.
start reading about it.
When you
It's
read it,
very, very interesting.
try not to put so much thought into it. Try not to figure try not to figure out your love language. Just read it and get an understanding of all of them. And then also go to different people things. Cause other like what I was doing was right before I was going to sleep and stuff, I would just put my headphones on listening. And I was getting different perspective of it and listening, just listening to different stuff. And then some of the shit I had to read, and I was reading it, and I was like, damn, when you start interpreting the things, and then like you start trying, like I said, you start trying to figure out. Once you
Right,
start trying
right,
to
right,
figure out, you start putting your own little something into it, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go
right,
off of how stuff makes you react.
right. Yeah. Like I said, it's more. It's a lot. It's a lot to
It's
take in, information wise, and just sitting and looking at it. You know what I mean? It's you got to be able to. That's why I said. I mean, I've been reading it though, reading up on it a little bit more. I just been like when I have time and when I'm driving at work, I just put up. I might pull up a video about it or something and just
Yep,
listen
that's
to
what I
it.
do.
You know what I mean? Like that'd be the most time I have. I'd be just chilling. I got to myself. Other than that, watching podcasts, trying
When
to
we
think of other shit.
most of the stuff that we talk about on here, I go back and just listen to it. Um, just like I started listening to the alpha male stuff. I just put the stuff on and I listen to all different people perspective of it, men and women, and I start reading it. Um, but I'll do it for days straight. I just put my headphones on and just listen to stuff for days straight. And like I said, I never ever think I'm right about everything, but I speak on how I feel about stuff. And if I'm and I feel strong about something, to me, the way I interpret it, um, I really, for my own benefit, I really don't care what other people be thinking about what I think about stuff.
Right, right,
Well,
right,
Mikey, you think you know everything? No, I don't. I just listen to that shit a lot. I know some people who go and go find information just so they could battle back and forth with you. I don't do that. I find information so I can feed myself. Like I said, I might have took it totally different from the way you took it. And we do that a lot with like the Bible. Um, a lot of stuff we read the way they do it in Bible study or in church, they say it one way, and then the
right, right.
pastor Bishop Craig always tell us go home and read it. And then when we go home and we read it, I picked up on something else, but by me going learning it at the church, it gave me a better understanding of it, and also why I felt that way. So it ain't always about I'm right. It's about how you interpreted it and the information that you went and seek. Some
And
people don't seek the right information.
it's crazy because I remember we was talking one day and you was like something you said made a lot of sense, and you was like, "How can you tell me I'm wrong about something you haven't taken the time to study?"
Exactly. I don't get it.
And
It
yo,
don't make sense.
that actually made like a whole lot of sense because I was one of them people that are just, oh man, the Bible, that shit ain't nothing but a book. It's just that, whatever, 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 whatever. And that kind of, I can see where that would kind of make a person think that I don't respect their view on their religion or how they practice their religion because I don't study it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day,
Right.
I get it. You know, and what I've learned is you gotta really understand sometimes the shit that you debating because you got to be able to have a bigger perspective besides the one that you just stuck with, like me feeling a certain way. Sometimes you got to have a bigger perspective of it, of the subject before you can really talk about it. You know what I mean?
You
I
saying
mean,
the
like I
same
said,
thing. Adrian Quill saying that same thing. I mean, while you talking, you could put that up there. I
oh,
didn't
this
mean
one
to
right
cut you
here.
off. But I mean, go ahead, finish your point.
No, I was saying like when you that statement when you said it, that really made me think how I look at conversations that I have about shit. You know what I mean? And it kind of make you wanna before you say, you know what, I'm gonna sit and debate about. Like it kind of make you want to look at it a little bit, so you can make sure you ain't saying nothing
Exactly.
that would be considered insensitive, more or less. Because, like I said, I feel like telling somebody that they wrong for feeling like, I mean, they wrong for being Christian. Like that's wrong. You know what I mean?
I mean, 'cause most people, if you listen to them, like I had, me, I defend. I don't defend the Bible. I defend what's right and what's wrong. Um, I had people telling me, y'all reading the white man's Bible, all this shit. My faith didn't come from reading the Bible because I didn't read the Bible until I already started having faith.
Right,
I was
right,
going
right,
through
right.
hell, and it's not even from my mom them sending me to church. Like we was forced to go to church when we was young. As we got older, we we were able to branch off from the church, but there was something that brought me back to it, and it was what was inside of me, what I felt. If you listen to most people that have a story about their religion and their faith, well, I'm gonna say their faith and their spirituality, they always talk about what they went through and now where they're at. Um, and then they quote the Bible. Because when they quote the Bible, there's somebody in the Bible that went through something just like you. If there was never a Bible written, I still would have faith because of what happened to me, because I did not have the knowledge of the Bible like people were doing. I just
Right,
wasn't the
right,
one that stepped
right.
back and read it. I read in my phone, scriptures come up. I was reading them. That was the extent of my studies. But what happened to me was totally spiritual. So the people that was talking to me was going about, and um they was reading stuff to debate with people. They'd talk about if God was so bad, if God's so good and he knows your life is written, why did he let all these bombs get dropped on people, people kill people? It also said God gave man free will. You see what I'm saying? You don't never quote that part of the Bible. You quote you have to know that man has free will to destroy the planet. That's what it all
Build or
is.
destroy.
He,
Yeah, build or destroy. Yeah, absolutely.
he gave you the raw
That's a
resources.
daily choice.
Exactly. All right. For example, here's an example. We had the raw resources of gunpowder. No one told you to make a gun. People was hunting with spears and shit. Now you got a gun that can shoot somebody and kill somebody. Who do you think? All right, we have nuclear power.
Right.
Do you think it's actually meant for you to blow up another side of the world, and then this side of the world can get destroyed by it being in the atmosphere? Who? That's straight man. No one. Who the fuck will sit back? Like the first person that thought of nuclear, putting nuclear in a bomb, nuclear energy in a bomb, all that shit. That's straight man. That's straight stupidity.
Real shit. It's man
You can
made.
You can
Absolutely.
destroy mankind. That's not God. That's man. That's stupidity.
True shit. True shit. I agree. It also said don't worship man, but all people do is say Jesus and pastor.
That's true. It's but like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff that people go through battling with religion. Um, but honestly, your spiritual connection is what's important. Um, you can listen to whatever you want to. Some people more into gospel and religion than I am because I'm more of a spiritual person, and I don't. I there's no way that anything man had his hand on that I am going to totally believe everything of. The man had his hands on the Bible, so I can't tell you that everything in the Bible is the word of God.
Real shit. I can dig it.
But I won't tell you that it's not because I don't know. I wasn't there. Like I told you, with all the research that and stuff that I do research a lot. I started researching what was on the scrolls, what was written on the scrolls.
Right.
It was so deep that I couldn't keep up. They said that on the if you interpret everything that was on the scrolls,
Uh-huh.
Bible would be taller than a 10-story building. If you took all the pages of it, the Bible would be stacked like that, word
Huh.
for word.
That's wild.
I did a lot, bro. I couldn't keep up with it. It was like I started listening to Bishop Craig, um, Pastor K. There's some very intelligent people. They interpret things different from any other pastors that I ever paid attention to. Uh, oh, I forgot. I like Rita Pastor. I swear I love how the dude talk. I could just listen to him, but most of what they saying is actual fact. You can act like an ass if you religious or not. But when you
Right.
got that spiritual connection, you cannot be acting like an ass. And stop acting like people act like pastors. Stop being human. They still have human error. They act like people that go to church automatically just stop being human. Just because I go to church, don't act like just because I'm sitting in the church every week, I don't come out here and make a mistake. Oh, church people this, that. What about you? It's easier to point a person that's trying to get right than it is for you to sit there and look in the mirror and say, I ain't doing shit myself. You looking at a person right now who is in church and they have not turned into Jesus Christ. They still have faults, they still have problems, they still have issues. They're
So
human beings.
so where do you think the disconnect is with people? I'm gonna say black people because I'm black. Where do you think the disconnect is with black people and religion? Because a lot of times, like, and it's crazy that a lot of times black people that have no belief in Christianity, their grandmothers or aunts and grandfathers, the most religious people you ever want to meet in life. So where do you think the disconnect comes into play at when it comes to us with religion, where you have so many people who honestly feel like the Bible is a hoax or it's not real or none of that shit was real or because it, like where do you think the disconnect came into play?
The disconnect came into play like this. We as a race were stripped of everything that defined us as human beings. Um, you go to Russia, they Russian people are Russian. They speak the same language. They pure blood. You go to North Korea, same thing. They all got their own things. We come here and we had to pick up other things, but we already were spiritual people before everybody else. Everybody comes from the same thing. They worship. We were already worshiping a religion. I can't say. I'm gonna say religion. We already had our own religion in Africa way before. The only thing is they put names and labels on things. You call it Christianity, Buddhism. You call it this, call it that, call it that. The disconnect is titles because everybody has a story. You understand what I'm saying? There's this thing called there's this thing where they show Jesus and Horus. I think it's Horus.
RUS. Yeah.
There was dates. Horus was born before Jesus, but the story is exactly the same. 100 years from now, somebody gonna tell you the story of Martin Luther King and probably change his name to C. Allen King. But there's a story and there's a march, there's a shooting. All of that story was there.
Right,
Just
right, right.
names change. They start changing titles of stuff.
Okay.
When Jesus was first, if you look back when they first start saying Jesus, right? The letter J was not even into existence.
Right. I do remember reading something about that.
But there's still a story. You could change the names or however you want. That's still the same exact story throughout time. You go to what is it, 536 AD or whatever AD it was, or you still get a story, bro, and the story is exactly damn near the same.
Hmm.
Um, the stuff that was interpreted, you can't even, if you want to get real, you can't even value the interpretations of things. Because who's to say that when the person read the stuff, um, everything was written in Hebrew? So you don't know if the person that really translated that stuff translated it word for word the way it's supposed to be. Um,
Right,
the
right,
same,
right,
the same thing if you look in the Egyptian pyramids. There's a dude that's called the father of what is it called when they write on it? I lost my words. The engravings and everything on the pyramid that tells the story. You
The
know, inside they
hieroglyphics.
use shapes and
Hieroglyphics.
hieroglyphics. You don't know if that dude interpret that shit correctly. No
Yeah.
one can tell you how the pyramid was built, but they have this white dude that says this is what that says on the wall. He was not
True.
there. How the fuck do he know? And how do we know that it's totally accurate? But we go off that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So what I mean when you say that the separation came was from
I was gonna go into this once you finish.
Christianity didn't strip us from anything. Christianity, we was already go look, go do some research on it. We was
And
already
see,
studying
that,
stuff.
and that's the
Everything
question.
came from Africa.
Was it the religion or was it the people who twisted the religion?
It's the people.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's and so is that where the disconnect comes into play? Not necessarily about the changing of the names of this, that, but
The story's still the
the
same.
people that used it to twist things to bend things to their will. Like they say the slave masters used to say, if you don't, if you love Jesus, then you're gonna have to forgive. Basically saying, in order for us to get to heaven, we had to forgive them for what they was doing to our ancestors at the time. So would that be where and would that be where the disconnect comes into play? Because over the years, Because I mean, I've heard that. I've heard that since I was 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, I
And that
mean,
was when I first really started questioning Christianity. And I think that's when I was more or less questioning the religion as opposed to questioning the people who used it the wrong way. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, pastors and priests, they're still human, and they're gonna do things that make human mistakes. So, do people get so disappointed and unfollow religion because they put a lot of faith into that person as opposed to putting it into their belief and their faith, and they put too much into a human, which is why they feel some kind of way when a pastor gets locked up or get in trouble for doing some crazy shit.
the thing, see, who fault is it that you believe in a pastor more than you believe in your own?
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
No one
It
made
would
you
be
do that. Nowadays, with the slavery, yes, they use it to control slaves.
hmm
But look at all the slaves that learn how to read, right? All the slaves that learn how to read realize that the slave master was wrong. There's a the you just didn't know. One of the biggest problems in the earth on this earth is not knowing.
yeah,
With anything. So
absolutely
those slaves didn't know that the slave master was lying to them. But take all the ones that could read and look at what they did. It's they started acting like they know better. Um, when religion, listen, religion was created way before slavery and time. Africans been studying worshiping God way before all of this nonsense came to play. Way before things get interpreted one way, and that's why you have to have a spiritual connection because you do not know exactly what was done. You weren't there.
right,
That's
right,
why everything you have one word to go back to,
right.
and it's called faith. You put faith in man, that's your fault.
You get disappointed.
You put faith in man, that's your fault. But you cannot deny a person's faith that had a connection and had a story to tell. There's people that damn near died and didn't read the Bible and came out and said something. They keep on saying something pulled me out of that. They seen something pull them out. That's their spiritual connection. That's their testimony. There's people that been out here fucking everybody, drinking, getting high, doing drugs, and they say something made me stop from that. I couldn't stop. That's that spiritual connection. That's your fault. And it might sound cruel, but the slaves didn't know no better. But that was their fault that they believed their pastor. They couldn't read it. So that was their fault. But that's not what's actually written.
Right, right.
Those still till today, um, people misuse everything. What she said.
She said you can have belief or you can be knowing. Knowing is Egyptian gods have a story way before Christian. It's more knowing.
The story is the same. The story is the same. The only the story is different in Muslims also. They talk about Jesus Christ, but they just say he wasn't the son of God. Um, I wish I had that thing where I could pull up. It's not even just Horus though. See, it's the whole spread of it. It has Jesus, Horus. It has about 5 to 7 different names of
And
different. You know what I'm
and
talking about?
yeah,
From
yeah.
different
So
times, and all of them story the same. All of them story exactly the same. Am I lying?
so
And
it's all
and
different variations then.
they got almost the same exact story, but they're just different. times. They lived in different times. That means that there was a story. What really happened was religion got misused, and we was stripped of everything. So you can't blame us for all the battles that we had throughout our lives. We one thing, we're not pure people. Um, we're mixed. Who, I mean, she said no story comes after the truth. How do you know what the truth is if you weren't there?
And
It
that's what
goes
I
back.
said. Like this is one of those
One,
things that you could debate forever because
you can't.
unless you were actually there to know how the
Exactly.
story went, nobody would really know. All we can do is interpret what we read.
Nah, that ain't all you can do. You gotta go back to one word. The one word is faith. You gotta have faith in what you understand for you.
Word.
Who wrote it all over Egypt?
Boy,
What
oh boy.
made what made it right? I mean, like I said, it's written. She said written all over Egypt, but who interpreted it for us?
This might be a good debate. This might be a good debate, roundtable discussion too. We gotta have some people on of the religious cloth and all
Yeah.
of that to talk
Let me.
about it. Like, because for
Let
me,
me.
like, and I'm gonna say this, and this is my stance. Um, I don't follow an organized religion really because of that. So for me, it's just more or less having spirituality and knowing that it's a higher power out there,
Exactly what I'm saying.
and knowing that it's a higher power out there, and knowing that I have the choice to build or destroy how things go for myself. If I believe that I can be a great person, then I'll be a great person. If I believe that I ain't gonna be shit, then I ain't gonna be shit. I feel like people have a godly side, and I feel like people have a devilish side. And I feel like that's where the build or destroy comes into play. But I also feel like that's that's basically kind of what the Bible was saying. That's how I interpret it. I interpret the Bible as it was, like you said, all these stories about people that went through certain things, and they either took the godly route or they took the devilish route to go about dealing in the situations.
That David, that's exactly what I'm saying. No one knows. All right, check this out. Can you, if I wrote you a letter in Chinese writing, I don't even know how to write in Chinese writing, and I said this letter says, "C. Allen, um, whatever, all the way through the whole letter," and you can't speak Chinese, and then I come to you and say, "C. Allen, this is exactly what this says." What you gonna do?
I don't know. I would have to make sure that you were thorough in the language of Chinese
Exactly.
before I
See,
could take your word. So I would probably take it to somebody that I know can interpret it better.
exactly my point. Who can you take religion to and ask that question?
I would assume people that study religion.
No, they weren't there. The people that they studying it from was not there.
So is this one of those situations where you just depend on yourself and the knowledge that you take in about it, and that's what you have to seek yourself
And faith, you have
and
to,
your
what,
faith?
how you take it is how it benefits for you for your life. Um, I have a spiritual connection. I know I
Right.
do because that,
Right.
that's all it is. Like they, man, check it out. The dude that said, "How can this dude read the hieroglyphics?" And the same people that tell you believe him told you that aliens built the goddamn pyramids.
See, I've heard that too.
How can this dude, these the same people that told you at first, at the beginning, they cannot even tell you how they built the pyramids because of the angles that they used, the blocks that they use. How could they get them that big? How could they use the machinery that they did not have? They built those things and they need machines that we use today to build them. That they have nowhere. You have no traces of no big ass lifts, no earth movers, or none of that shit. They cannot tell you how the earth was moved to build those pyramids. But they can tell you that they are accurately reading what's inside it. Get the fuck out of here.
I've heard I've heard people say they felt like the aliens built the pyramids. I've heard people say that they didn't actually build the pyramids. They dug them out. Like
I could believe that.
the pyramids was already in the ground and they
I don't
dug them
believe
out.
that.
Huh?
I believe I don't know. I believe they kind of like shaped them. I ain't mean cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that they. I mean, like I said, it's just been
They
like
don't know.
just talking to different people. You get different views of what would happen,
Ask
and
them were they there.
LeVon said because niggas was 8 feet.
they actually found they actually found giants and shit before, skulls and everything.
So those is the people that probably put the pyramids up there more or less.
Like I said, man, watch it. All you gotta do is they cannot tell you they they cannot tell you how they shape. They was looking at the blocks that they put there, the tunnels that they have in them. Yo,
Right.
I was geeking off this shit for years, yo. I was I stopped looking. I stopped looking at like I stopped studying outer space because there's never no answers to that shit. I stopped studying this shit because I'm telling you, for all the information that I was getting from years and years, it was all guesses. Like I say, they can't tell you how that shit was shaped inside with the angles that they had. Those are perfect angles, yo.
Real shit. I mean, and that's why I said like I've over years, like I've just see, and that's what I'm saying, Cash. Like I've had people say that.
Me too.
I've had people say they think that the aliens just put the tops on the pyramids, and the people did all the way up to the points, and aliens put the points on the pyramids. I had people say that they had dinosaurs that they kept around to do it. I've had pull up really chosen. If you're not on this level, you stop yourself from receiving the
That's right, David. Without no machinery, they cannot tell you how that shit was done. Everything everybody telling you, if they weren't, I don't care what nobody say. When it comes to historical events, if your ass was not there, you do not know if that shit is real. You gotta be there. That's why it always everything gonna go back to being having faith. And it's all in what you have faith in.
and that's why I say like I just believe everything is more or less based on
The
like
Bible telling you stories to connect your faith.
and see that's what I'm saying. Like it's not, and that's where I was ignorant. You know what I mean? When I would tell people certain shit like, man, oh shout out official fat boy. But nah, that's why I would have certain conversations and I would be like, well, the Bible man made, anybody could have wrote anything. And I mean that's still true. But at the end of the day, like I'm am I doing any real searching and digging to see if it's true or not? Nah. So like I can only limit my opinion to what I've taken in. You know what I mean? Don't necessarily mean that everything I've taken in has been correct, but it don't necessarily mean everything's been incorrect either. But like you said, I just gotta believe what I believe at the end of the day. But like I said,
It's
for
on
me,
you. A pastor is just a messenger. The pastors are just messengers of what they believe in.
Right,
Some
right,
some
right,
pastors
right,
some pastors are faking this shit, and there's some people that are real to this. There's a lot of pastors that are faking it, but there's a lot of people that's real to it. It
right. Yeah, yeah.
it's all in what you want to believe. They took it, they learned it from somebody. Those pastors, they went to colleges. Um,
Yeah, seminary school, right? Ain't that what it's
exactly.
called?
They went and learned, but they learned what somebody else had already written, and now they
Right, right,
interpret it
right. I mean,
to
but
the
shit,
way they want it.
that's the same thing we did in school
That's
and people do in
human
college.
nature.
You learning something that somebody else wrote.
That's right. All right,
Yeah.
let me give you a prime example of something I just learned. All right, no, I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look it up. But look, um, the dude, Uncle Tom's Cabin. They got that whole Uncle Tom thing flipped so badly.
Hmm.
It's crazy. We got to talk about that
I
next
read,
week.
yeah, yeah. I read about that too.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm
Uncle
saying?
Tom King.
History changes so much that we will believe whatever written in a book, and then we can go back and find out that the shit they saying about Uncle Tom gave him that name is not even fact.
Yeah, it was the opposite, the complete opposite. It was like somebody. I was reading an article. It was like you call somebody an Uncle Tom, you're actually complimenting them.
He freed
And
slaves. He
yeah,
did one
it
dumb thing
broke
though.
down. It broke down all of that shit, and it was like so he actually was the cool motherfucker. So being called Uncle Tom not necessarily a bad thing. But I always said I wanted to go back and read more about it. I never did though. Like
The
I
reason
started
why
reading
they
it just like
started doing that because they started doing a play years after he finished. What he did was crazy. Was this? And I'm gonna give you a shortcut. He was supposed to take him and some other slaves was supposed to go to another slave plantation because the plantation that he was on was being sold. That Bama actually had a chance to escape. He was so brainwashed to his master that he actually still got him and the other slaves
right, right.
to the other slave master when they actually could have got free. After he got down deep in the South, he realized that the slavery was different down deep in the South. It was hard time. So then he started helping slaves. You gotta see it, but he started helping slaves
Yeah.
escape. He helped like 100 and some slaves get free. But the reason why they was using the Uncle Tom thing because they started doing plays, and the plays were fictional um characters of him, which were not true. They was making him like he was an ignorant sellout, all this other shit, and that shit was just for the plays that they did. It was not who he really was. The man, son, helped him educate. He went to Canada and started cutting wood and shit and building stuff out of the wood and shit. The wood and shit there. He visited the Queen and all that shit. It's crazy how that shows um how they changed everything. If you look on YouTube, it's this thing. You can punch in the person that wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. She used his information to write that book. She used some
Really,
of his
yeah,
information to
yeah.
write that book. It was written by a white lady, but it's called um his name is Josiah something. I forgot the damn name. I be having so much shit in my brain I can't think about it. That's why I be trying not to research every damn thing. But I do. I just watched the fucking video the other night though while I was at the gym. Um, but I tell you, and the only reason why I brought that up was because it shows how um history has been changed. So they can change the titles of history and have you believe in whatever they want.
Well, yeah, that's real shit. Like
It's called
I
the real.
honestly believe in another 50 to 60 years, Tupac will be white.
Exactly.
In another
If you
50 to
go
60
on
years, Tupac
YouTube,
will be white.
and look up the real Uncle Tom. His name is Josiah Henson.
SIAH.
Josiah Henson.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to do that while I'm driving tomorrow. Though.
It's
That'll
deep
be one of my.
because
That'll be one of my joints I can ride. I'm gonna like Lavonda. I'm gonna look up all of that shit, bro.
yeah,
Toes,
I'm ready. I'm gonna look
I'm gonna
that up
look up
too.
all of that because I want to be able to talk about it and make sense when I'm talking about it. Um. So yeah, we got some conversations coming up there, man. We
And these people, I watch a lot of stuff, and and like we talk about how the way I talk about stuff is like I keep on saying is how I interpret it or you take from it what you want. There's people that are actually doing research, digging through other people's information and telling you and trying to tell you that what they actually saying is true. You don't know if that shit true. It might be a good read or a good listener, but that don't mean that it's 100% true. Who said that history don't change, the story do?
Adrian Quill.
Exactly. Um, the stories always changing the stories, especially when it comes to us.
Oh yeah, well you know what that is. Absolutely. I, this has been
Here's what I'm talking about.
I like this conversation for real, for real. Like
Yeah, because like I said, I'm not saying I'm right. All I'm doing is expressing
nah,
my.
you can only
Look at
speak from
this.
your perspective.
Can y'all see that? Look at this. If y'all look up Jesus versus Horus, this thing has 6 different people, 6 different time frames with 6 of the same exact stories. Look at it.
Right, right.
Go just look it up yourself. Born
So
December
is,
25th, born of a virgin, star in
so
the
is that
east.
what people are disputing? And maybe are people saying that is they biting? Like you biting off my story, son.
Yeah, that's all it is. But my
Okay.
point to everybody I keep saying is this. I don't care how you look at it, there's a story. Take the Jesus off it. Take Horus off it. Take any name off it. Which is the oldest story? Let's see. It
So
goes back
is
to
she saying
5,500 BC.
is she saying Horus is the oldest story?
He's 3,000 BC. There's a 500 BC. So would it be the lower number? Like 500 would be before 3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But what I'm saying is, all right, say I want to find out who the oldest. It say Greece, 5,500 BC. Is the 500 before
Nah, that would
3,000?
be after, because that's 500 years before Christ. The
All right.
Horus
Oh, so
story
this is
is three.
3,000 years
So
before
Horus is
Christ.
3,000 years before Christ. So
So that's
Horus would be old.
she's right. That's Horus. That's how it goes.
The
Okay.
Horus would be the oldest.
Right. So what I'm saying is this.
See,
Then it
and this is
goes
what it is.
to. You see it? Did you see it? See?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a story. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that is not true, but all I'm saying is that there's a story.
Mm-hmm. Well, he said it's one
Actually,
story with
Jesus
many
number
different names.
6. The names change, but the story never changed.
Right, right.
So you having people
So,
telling us, honestly, you having people telling us like the story's not the same. I mean,
so instead of so instead of looking at the Bible as an interpretation, you have some people who feel like the Bible just stole from that story. So maybe that's where the disconnect comes into play,
what
too.
if it wasn't called the Bible? What if it was just called information about and didn't have any names?
It's Jesus and them story. If it
Take
was just
out the
called,
names. It's just information. What if it was just information without a title? without it being called the Bible. All right, just saying the Quran, right? Take the name Quran off it. It's still a story. Take the title Bible off it. It's still a story.
Yeah.
We have to put titles on things to identify it. The reason why it's called the Bible is for us to identify it from other books.
The basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Basically.
That's that's what somebody told me. And you know, that's the Jizza song too. The basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's what Bible is short for.
Yeah, basically that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But like she
So
said, Horus is the oldest. But like I said, I've been seeing this. But what I'm saying is, if you start with Horus, just because the stories had different names and everything. That's why I said, me personally, I go off what I feel in my spirit.
respect.
Pull this joint up and look at it, see, and
Respect.
look at everything it say. It's the same. Remember we had that we was doing that debate, and I was telling Monterey this. I kept saying there's a story. He kept telling me the shit fake, but then he started talking about Egypt. Yeah, you don't know the whole story. You weren't there, but what I'm telling you is, all I kept saying was there is a story. It's written several different times.
Yeah, it is. Same book, just different names and different versions.
That's all I've been saying the whole time.
Right, right. She said Tanaka book is older than the Bible.
And see, that's what I'm saying. The I started looking at the scrolls. I read this dude. He started telling me about the scrolls, and when I was looking at all that research, I was like, "Yo, it takes a lifetime to learn all this." I had to slow my roll, yo, because that's all I was doing was feeding my brain a bunch of, and it's very interesting. But the hardest part about it is, I'm gonna tell you the hardest part about it is names. I swear to God, I can't pronounce nobody's name. It's hard pronouncing names in the Bible. And when I say names of people and places,
Hmm.
and especially when they really go back to the way the Hebrew stuff is,
Right.
man, your brain. But I'm telling you, once you start reading it and you go back to it, you'll start being really, really interested. But you know what's gonna start happening to you? You're
Right.
gonna start trying to figure out how was this stuff interpreted.
I mean, ultimately, that probably would be because, like I said again, because like just
Curiosity.
after this conversation, now it's like, so have people, like I said, instead of just looking at the Bible as an interpretation of the of Horus story, but instead looking at it as they took it and tried to change it. But then you have some people that say, okay, then why don't they teach you about Horus instead of Jesus? Since Horus is the oldest book, why don't we read that book? Why doesn't religion follow that book?
That's
But
a good question.
you know what I mean? If that's the oldest one. Why doesn't religion follow? So I would only assume that, and like I said, this is an assumption. I could only assume that they don't because they told the story to kind of modernize the time that they were living in, and that's why the interpretations change. The interpretations change to fit the time that they living in. Like if somebody rewrote the Bible now, you know what I mean? It would, and like if they wrote it like the shit with Jesus happened in 2000, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then it would be written in a way that it
People
would
in 2000.
it was 2000. Like
Yeah.
Mary would be a baby mama. You know what I mean? She would be God baby mama. You know what
But
I'm saying? Like
think about this while you talking,
the
see? Think about this while you're talking, right? And I'm sorry for cutting you off, but this is what I'm telling you. Why you telling us this. That is exactly what you're supposed. That's exactly what I've been telling you the whole time. See how you trying to put it together and
Right, right,
understand
right.
it. You gonna be you gonna be all the way over there with it
And
soon. Watch, I'm
that's
telling
why
you.
I said like we gotta have a couple people on here that's of the cloth that actually study this, because I want to hear, because I got a lot of questions, and I really want to see if the questions that I have, not necessarily, nobody's gonna have the perfect answer. I'm not looking for the perfect answer, but I got a lot of questions, and like one of those I have is, why didn't we know anything about Jesus' brothers and sisters?
What happened?
Why didn't we know anything about Jesus' brothers and sisters? Because you know he had brothers and sisters. Like I don't, I can't believe that Joseph was with Mary and the only child that they had, he didn't help her free.
I don't know about, like I say, I don't
Because
know.
like I said, like if you put that to these times, think about it. You married, you come home, your wife tell you she pregnant. She 3 months pregnant, and 3 months ago y'all wasn't together. But she tell you she pregnant. You know it's not yours. That you don't question that at all. Like you don't like, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's certain shit like that. Like I just want to throw around just to ask certain questions. Like how, like what made Joseph say, you know what, I'm gonna still stick with you. This ain't my baby, but we in this together.
Well,
You
you
know what I
know
mean?
what people
Like
doing?
Jonah and the whale. I've had a lot of people tell me that the whale actually was a prostitute, and he was with a prostitute and told his wife that he was in the belly of a whale for 3 days. See, so that's why I said, yo, like it's a lot of different interpretations, but like I think what I'm starting to come to the understanding of since we've been talking, and like I said, that's why I said this was a dope conversation, was is that because of all of these different names that we see, but the story's the same. The Bible is basically an interpretation of Horus. You know what I mean? Like it's like a remix, basically.
It's the same. It's damn near the same story.
But it's the same story. It's just told by, like I said, it's just
I
told.
don't know.
It was just told during a certain time, so they had to tell it a certain way to make
I,
sure that because people might not have understood a book that was 3,000 years older than them.
the times
So
were different.
they said we can't do this like this. We gotta, you know what I mean? So yeah, like yeah, we gotta make that happen. We gotta make that happen. We gotta have yeah, absolutely. You gotta have different people. So
See, the only thing about a lot of um, a lot of religious people is a lot of people that are really religious. Um, you can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them how you feel about the Bible, because I talked to this one lady one time that I was dating, um, and we fell totally out because she was interpreting things her way, and when every time I said something, she cut me off. That's not what the Bible said. That's not what I told you. Is, babe, I never read the Bible, so I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and she was so, the Bible was everything, but that's, we was trying to get an understanding of each other, and she would not let me have a conversation with her because she wanted everything to be quoted back to the Bible. And all she kept doing was quoting what she read. What she read, what she read, what she read. I'm like, okay, that's fine, babe, but how can we have a conversation if you won't even give me a chance to talk about it? How I feel or what I felt. She's telling me that I can't have a spiritual connection if I didn't read the Bible and if I don't know the word of God.
huh?
That's what she's telling me.
Like,
You
and see,
cannot have a spiritual connection if
those
you
the
don't
people
know the
I
word of
can't
God.
those the people I can't converse with for too
That's
long,
what I said.
because you're not gonna sit here and
I
tell
can't
me
say
that
most. I know a lot of them do.
you're not gonna tell me that I'm wrong because I don't believe what you believe, but then still tell me that you're right because
Of what you read.
it's what you believe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's where I fall into the whole. That's where I fall into the where I ain't gonna argue about it phase when it comes to it because I've had a lot of Christians that do. And don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of Muslims as well that I've talked to about Islam, and I've had some tell me like, look, you know, like some people don't agree with the Nation of Islam. That's Muslim. They don't agree with Farrakhan. You know what I mean? You got the 5%ers, who's a branch off. That's what I've been reading as of lately. I've been reading about the 5% nation and the nations of the gods and the earth. You know what I mean? Like, because when I was sitting back and I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, do like if I wanted to follow a religion, like I would follow. If I had to choose, like if somebody sat me down and said, look, you got to choose a religion to follow, it I more than likely would be. I think I would more than likely follow Islam. You know what I mean? But the thing about Islam, and what a lot of people say is, how can you be a wholesome Islam? How can you be a good Muslim if your wife and your kids aren't too? And I'm not the type of person that's going to push that on my kids because I want my kids to have the ability to learn about shit and decide what they want as far as their religion and as far as their spirituality goes. You know what I mean? Right, Scientology. You'll have Scientology like I don't know no Scientologists though, but they off the chain though, yo.
Man,
They
fuck
say them
them.
Scientology motherfuckers be wilding, yo.
I don't believe shit they talk about.
And like you got Mormons,
But
see,
see, you know what?
jailhouse. She said jailhouse or Sunni. See what I'm saying? Like all of that, like that's why I said I just look at the 5%.
But
I've been studying the 5% shit. Like that's easier for me to interpret, and you can still like the belief of what the belief of the 5% is. 85% of the people in the world are in the dark. Only 10% really know what's going on, and it's 5% that are put here to bring the other 85% to the light. I understand that, like, and I understand like I understand the supreme alphabet. I'm still studying that the supreme alphabet, the supreme mathematics. I'm still reading about that. You know what I mean? So I'm just like for me, that's why I say like picking an actual religion and just having belief is two different things. And if I had to have a choice, then I would just stick with having belief right now. And like you said, having faith. You know what I'm saying? Like just for me that just seems it's a safer thing for me. And it gives me time to kind of be obtuse and study everything a little bit, just to learn a little bit more about everything. But because I grew up, we had to go to Sunday school. Like my mother would send us to Sunday school, and then after a while, she kind of was like, you know what, like I'm not gonna do that to y'all. I'm not gonna force y'all to go anymore. If you want to go, you can. If you don't have to. You know what I mean? Don't make you a bad person if you don't. And you got a choice. And like my mother, like my mom and my grandfather, my mom's father, like that's who kind of hit me with the build and destroy shit. And like even with talking about the 5% shit. You know what I mean? Like my grandfather used to hit me to a lot of that. My mom's brother, my uncle Johnny, like they used to hit me to that shit all the time and just like tell me stuff about it. And like my uncle, like he kind of like you are, like he gotta sit and read something about shit before he really like if he interested, like his mind is just stuck on that shit for like the next week, month, however long it is until he feel like he heard enough. You know what I mean? And he always taught me and my brothers to do the same thing. Like, yo, like think for yourself. Like you don't have to take my he's like, you don't have to take my word for anything. Anything I tell you, you can always go and try to find out different.
it's
You
easy.
can always go and try to find out more about it if you don't think I'm telling you the right thing. So Like he believed in that free thinking type of shit. Like he wasn't a religious dude either. He did kind of get religious after a while, but he didn't push it on us. You know what I mean? And he, like I said, he always, even with Christianity, he always told us, like, no, you don't have to listen to me and take my word for it. You go
And do
and
it
you
yourself.
look it up and you
You know,
understand it for yourself.
you know what I was gonna say to you the whole time you was talking about religion, Christianity, and everything. Everything you said about not believing, your struggles with believing in it and everything came from an influence of another person's actions. It has nothing to do with your spirituality.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with your spiritual connection with God. It
yeah.
came from what you physically seen or heard
Real
from
shit.
other people. That's the
Real shit.
problem.
Okay.
It has, it's you the connection that you have. The first thing you started off with was, I know that there's a higher power. Once you focus on that, that's what it is. All that other stuff you said was influenced by other people's behavior, from other people's action. People swear they Muslim, right? But Muslims have true Muslims have guidelines.
Absolutely. Yes, they do. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had a couple of them inbox me when I asked about it on Facebook. And they be
Exactly.
like, I've had one of them tell me, like, yo, if you decide that you want to go to, if you want to convert, like, don't let somebody that you don't trust try to help you convert. Because if you do that, then that person, they if they convert you, then they're given, by the standards of Islam, I believe they're given a favor, or they get into heaven because they brought you over to. He was like, so just be careful. He said, because some people not doing it because they want you to be. They doing it so that they can have their shit in
You remember that dude? Remember that whole tap shit that everybody was saying?
order. Uh-huh.
I went and did some studying on that. And you know how people was on Facebook bashing Christians, bashing other religions. The first
Yeah.
thing it tells you when you look at that, the guidelines of their thing, is they do not bash other religions because they try to bring you in. The dude that one of the main dudes in that said that he did this. He first got into the stars and all the stuff that they do, the moon and everything.
Right,
He
right.
was talking about how he he talked this dude out of his Christian faith. When he looked
I
again,
think
the
you
dude
told me
was,
this. I think you
remember,
told me this
I
story
told you a
before.
while ago, the dude turned
Yeah.
into a crackhead. He lost his job. He lost all this. The dude said this. He said the reason why that's the reason why he stopped. And you can tell people that's just yelling whole tap just because it sounds good. And I think that's how you pronounce it. That they don't take away food. You can't take away food from somebody and then don't feed them. That man food was Jesus Christ, his Christianity and his faith, and then you took it from him,
Just the
turned his mind
conversation we
away
was
from
having.
Jesus, and now
Yeah.
dude ain't doing shit right for himself because you didn't give him nothing to feed him with. You didn't feed him
Exactly.
back
There
with
you
nothing.
go.
If you think I'm lying, go look this shit up. The shit was
No, I
written.
am.
It was written straight down. I told you that shit a long time ago when
Yeah,
we was
you told
going
me this
back and
story. I
forth.
remember this story. We was basically having the same type of conversation. And it
Yeah,
was me and you, and there was a couple other people. I can't remember who the other people was, but
it
we
was
was having
Monterey.
the same conversation. I want to say we was sitting outside somewhere
That's right. We were sitting outside your house in your yard.
in the backyard on my
The,
birthday.
that's right.
Absolutely.
The
Yep.
conversation was me and you had the conversation before that. The conversation came back up because remember we
Came
was
back
flipping
up
back
again.
and forth on Facebook and they kept on telling me that I was defending religion. And I was like, I'm not defending religion. But what I'm telling you is this. If I'm your friend, right? You say you love me. And I tell you that the belief of Jesus Christ is working for me, and you my friend, and you see me changing my life, and you see me doing better, getting off drugs, alcohol, living a better life, why are you trying to take that from me?
Take that from me and not offer me anything in return to fulfill it.
Once you have your faith and your belief and forget religion. Once you
Hmm.
have your spiritual connection, there's not nothing a Muslim, there's nothing another Christian can tell you. There's not nothing a Buddhist can tell you. You have a connection with God, and that's what the whole that's what your existence is. So can't nobody tell you nothing else. You already been fed. I'm fed. The stuff that I like to learn in church when I go to a Christian church, it intrigues me. But I still come home and I listen to stuff that Muslims say. I love listening to Farrakhan. I don't agree with everything he say. I don't agree with
Right,
everything a
right,
Christian pastor say. But I
right,
love listening to a strong black man speak.
right. All right. So on that note,
Lavonda,
we
real quick, Lavonda, I'm gonna
yeah, I'm gonna
I
look up
need you to
everything she said.
yeah,
Send post that
I
in the
got it
group.
written
Tell her
down.
post it in the group too.
I got it written down. And I'm gonna go
Yep.
uh,
Pineal gland. Now
I'm
see, I know about this. Pineal
I'm deep
gland
into that.
and it produces, yeah, and the less sun you get, and that's why they say that Caucasians don't have their pineal gland is already um calcified because they didn't come from highly sunny areas and shit. So yeah, like as far as the pineal gland, as soon as you said that, and my brother-in-law, matter of fact, fucking Wham, he was hipping me to that shit right there. That's what our third eye is, that pineal gland.
When you
Yep.
study that, you gotta study your subconscious mind.
The more powerful you get. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you gotta study your subconscious mind when you study the pineal gland because it gets deep. I told you
Yeah.
everything ain't always written right in front of your face. It's deeper than what you think and what you see, yo. When you when you go past exactly what you see, you start finding and you start being. People think I be tripping, but I am totally content with who Mike Somerville is. I don't my problems with financials and crazy lifestyle, all that shit the same. It's just I don't let that shit affect me like I used to because I started learning me.
Hmm.
The shit
All
is
right.
just
So
it's crazy.
what we're gonna do is for the next couple of weeks, yeah, we're gonna work that out, yo. We're gonna have some people of the cloth on here. I'm gonna holler at the Grand Sheik. I'm gonna holler at Tito, the Moors, and see if he want to join us. We can holler at you can
But what you
holler at
gonna have to do, see, when you invite them, I got mad love for Tito. Um,
Let Me Talk. We're gonna have to make sure they
we
understand.
got a
Yeah,
point to
yeah,
figure out that the name of this damn show is
yeah.
called "Let Me
Absolutely,
Talk."
absolutely. So
Because
we gonna work
it's
that
gonna
out.
be a deep. I love all this information Lavonda gave us.
Yeah, she said she want to be a part of it when we
I
have them
love all
on.
the information she gave us.
But we
And
gonna
Kest too, David Kest too.
yeah,
And I appreciate y'all, man. Cause like I say, we learning together. Now I'm
absolutely.
sorry I keep cutting you off, but stuff like
No,
this be having me. I love
right, right,
talking.
right. That's why I said we gotta save something for the.
You
But
know how
we
I
gonna
be.
right. This was a dope ass conversation for real, and but we're gonna definitely within the next couple of weeks we're gonna put that together, and we're gonna have the people on, and we're gonna talk about this even deeper. You know what I mean? Because we can make it like a round table talk where we just ask the questions and then let them answer rather than having it free flow. Because we'll let one person talk, and like we said, should it go 10, 15 minutes, one
Yeah.
person. So we don't
What's
want to
name
do that. We
husband would be
want to
good
kind of
too.
keep it. Right, we want to kind of keep the flow going.
Chris
But
husband would be a good.
yeah, that's why I said we're gonna holler at her and see if he can join us because he was supposed to join for the brother check-in, but I know that was his mom's birthday, so he couldn't. He had already had plans, so he couldn't join us for the first one. But yeah, that definitely would be dope because that was why I wanted him to be on there too, just to speak
Yeah.
about that.
And Lavonda.
Um, but
Um,
y'all can go to YouTube and check out this episode. It might stay on the Facebook group for a while, but I know the last one it got deleted. But this one might stay on Facebook for 24 hours. If not, like I said, you can go to YouTube and it's the same name as the group. Let Me Talk the podcast, and it's a green L. And you like that, subscribe to that, and like I said, you'll be able to now see this episode and the episode we did last week on YouTube. Every episode from then on will be on YouTube as well, so you can always go back and check it out. But Mikey, appreciate you again. You already, bro. We in here. The conversation was going. We was ready to hit the 2.5. We got to save memory, son.
This is
I
my
gotta get. I
favorite
gotta get.
one.
I gotta get a bigger memory card, or I gotta get a. I gotta get a what's the name? A hard drive.
This was one of
So
my
we can turn
favorite
this shit
ones.
on. Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna come back to this one again, and we appreciate y'all, and we holler at y'all next week, same time, same link, 8 p.m. Tuesday, and you can join us and talk. We're gonna let you talk, but you got to remember to let me talk too. Love
I got
y'all.
one question.
What?
Do you like do y'all let y'all give y'all dogs water out the sink and you drink spring water?
I don't have a dog yet. Oh, here you go with this shit.
See, do you let your dog drink out the faucet, or do you give him spring water?
Here you go. That dog get macaroni and cheese, all that shit. Dog got high blood pressure and shit. Don't want to go outside and
My
run.
dog. Well,
Diabetic
listen. Oh,
because we
but
give
he
him
a real
shit.
nigga. That's my nigga. Yeah, he got high blood pressure. He one
You
of his
feed,
legs cut
you
off.
feeding them ham hocks and shit. This nigga, what you feed Gabe? Oh, that nigga had neck bones, yams,
Nigga don't eat
little
no
chicken
dog food
salad.
at all.
They had chicken salad, some scrapple, some leftover hug head cheese that my people had brought on.
He come over your house, he look for crab cakes and shit.
Gabe over that bitch eyes bloodshot. Can't figure out why he angry all the time and shit. He's stressed out and shit. You know, there's salt in his system. Man, I'm gone, man. I holler at you tomorrow, B.
All right, I call you, yo.
All right, yo.
Look, hold up. David give his dog water out the sink.
He said he drank out the sink.
Nah, I don't. Not no more. I used to. I water ever since that shit happened over at my neighbor academy. It's very seldom I
Oh,
will.
yeah, no, hell no. Yeah. But we're
All
going to
right,
holler
B,
at
I love
y'all.
you here.
Appreciate y'all. Already, bro. I'll holler at you
I
tomorrow.
appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm going to bed.
Absolutely. Peace.